Welcome back to the 45-day loft conversion challenge. Yesterday we showed the insertion of the steel beams into the party wall, and the first job today was to make this good, so it involves installing some bricks and then just filling in around that. You can see on this steel it's been done. Where we had the gallows bracket, we installed the steel which had the steel plate. You can see the chimney stack rises up above the roof, is still in place, so there's quite a lot of weight still in this area. So to support that and get building control happy, we put the steel plate in, and then we've actually installed some engineering bricks on top of that plate and filled them right up to the bottom of the gallows bracket. So we've still got the original gallows bracket that's been there for 20 plus years, but now these bricks are sitting on a steel support which is fixed between the other steels and also into the party wall, so very secure. And we've now added some extra security by filling that whole gap in.
A building control came today to inspect the steels and also the joists. One of the issues for building control is to make sure that the structure is solid, is going to withstand the weight of everything that's going to be put upon it, and that the flooring and the joists have been put in to satisfactory standards so that it doesn't cause damage to the ceilings below. So they came today and they checked the insertion points for all of the steels. So we've seen this steel before, but this is where it goes into the party wall. This is, as we've seen previously, is sitting on a bearer plate, and then we've bricked back up the party wall just to seal it all in. But the weight of that steel beam, this steel beam that runs all the way from one side of the house to the other, that's sitting on the party wall supported by the bearer plate. So that he came today, he was happy with that. Then on the other side we've got the steel plate where the gallows bracket was. So firstly we've got where this steel beam that goes from one side to the other, that's been fixed into the party wall as well, and that's all sealed up. And then we had the gallows bracket, which we looked at in more detail earlier. That's been bricked up now, so that is now supported on the steel plate that was welded to the steel that's running across from the two steels fixed into the party wall. In addition to those steels, we've now also got the ridge beam. The ridge beam supported by this vertical column. This column is bolted into the steel that goes from in between the two steels. That's bolted in there, and it rises up, and then where the ridge beam is attached, it's also bolted into this piece. So we've got the two steels that run from one side of the building to the other. They're fixed into the party wall. We've got this other steel which is connected between the two of them, and then on top of that steel we've got this column which supports the ridge beam right across the top. At the other side of the ridge beam we've got a timber structure, and building control came today and confirmed that they're happy with this timber support here, which is sitting on the outside of all of the joists. So that's all approved by building control now, so that's all legal. They're happy that this structure is going to be here for the next 50 to 100 years. In addition to that, he was also inspecting the floor joists. So have a look at the detail on the floor joists. These joists have been fitted into the steels, so they've been trimmed to down so that they fit nice and tight in between all of the steels. So in this middle section here we can see that all of these joists are supported by the steels, and the same on the other side of the steel. We've got all of the joists are all fixed in. These small sections in between are called noggins, and they're just to make sure that these joists don't move around at all. These joists have been fixed at 350mm gaps, which will provide a nice solid structure for the floor and make sure that we don't get any creaks and groans and moans that you often get. On the outside section, don't need a steel because this has been built upon the end wall of the house. So this whole section is sitting on a masonry wall below, so that doesn't need a steel because that's deemed to be strong enough to support the structure itself. And this is called double trimming, where they put two pieces of wood just to give it extra strength and rigidity for the whole structure. So if we now go around and have a look at the front of what they've built today, and we'll have a look at the roof pitch. Here we are at the end of day 3 of the 45-day loft conversion challenge. So today the guys have put the front structure, the timber structure, on the roof, so you can see that they've got that laid out here. I'll look at this in a bit more detail later. And of course, to be enabled to do that, they've had to finish putting all the steels in. So we can see across the middle here we've got the ridge beam in, which is sitting at the very highest point for all of the steels, and then the timber frame for the roof structure is built over and above that, so the steel's taking the weight of that. This is only one half of the roof. Obviously we're going to build the dormer at the back here, so there'll be a box structure built square off the back, which will form the full head height area for the bedroom and the ensuite shower room. So here we are now just at the base of the new roof structure. You can see that it rises up to the ridge beam in the middle. This has been fixed around the original timber, so you can see all of these pieces have been cut to shape to fit nicely on top of the original timber that was here for the previous roof, which was this timber's in good condition. There's no need to replace that. And then what we've got on this side is going to be fully tiled, so this is just timber beams that will apply felt on top of that, and then the tiles will sit on top of it. And then as we move across, and the reason for that is that is where the staircase is going to come up, so, and it's restricted head height in this section. And then into the main section of the room, here we've got cutouts for 2 Velux windows, so you can see these squares where the timber has been shaped, and these are 1.2 by 900 wide, so they're quite big Velux windows that will bring a lot of light into the house from this side of the room. They'll be fitted at some point soon, and we'll just, and they'll be opening, so this, you can imagine this will all be tiled, and then we'll have the Veluxes, which will be similar to the ones opposite. If you have a look over there, it'll be a similar sort of arrangement to what we've got over on that side.